Some people will want the cultural things, the orchestras, the operas, the theatres, but other people will want sports to participate in, and many people, many schools have football teams, and people go water skiing and climbing, but many people just want to watch good football. And there will always be a place for good football in Glasgow, and we reckon that in Glasgow there is more good football than any other city in Europe, never mind Great Britain.
It's a match between Rangers and Celtic, and they're, as you say, the two big clubs. I think the Rangers and Celtic are two big clubs because they think big. Both of them have always thought big. Many people in football indicate that Rangers and Celtic are big because they get big crowds. No. Rangers and Celtic are big because Rangers Club and Celtic Club both think big. The legislators think big. I like to think I think big. I hope my players think big. That's the way we're schooled, that's the way we've always been brought up. Because we think big, we live it big.
And there's the final picture of John Gregg with the European Cup Winners' Cup.
We've got two top clubs. I don't think there's any country in the world could say that they would dare put on two European Cup ties on the one night as Glasgow did. Last year, we had 150,000 people watch Celtic play Euspes Doza and Rangers play a Spanish team as well on the one night. You wouldn't find this in Rome, you wouldn't find it in Milan, you wouldn't find it in Barcelona, you wouldn't find it in Madrid, you wouldn't find it in any of the German top cities. And not only that, in recent years, Glasgow has held both the European Cup and the European Cup Winners' Cup. There are not many countries outside Holland could boast of that.
Glasgow has a stadium capacity of over 40% of the total population of this city. This shows and demonstrates the total commitment of the population of Glasgow towards football well-being.
Basically, big is a very vital word as far as the Rangers are concerned. It has been over the years, and it was rather a different make-up, and always have been, than the Celtic, or the Hibs, or Aberdeen, or any of the other good Scottish clubs through the years.
Celtic Football Club was formed originally as a charitable organisation to raise money for the impoverished Irish immigrants who came to Scotland as they went to America and other places during the Hungry 40s when the potato crop failed. They were the second-class citizens of Glasgow, and they needed charity. They needed to help themselves. One of the reasons why, for instance, so many Catholics have succeeded in Glasgow by being publicans or bookmakers is that these were the only lucrative trades open to people without education, because they were underprivileged in education as well.
The club was founded about 1888 by some very kind gentlemen under the leadership of a Marist brother who was the headmaster in one of the local schools. The purpose of the club, as formulated at that time, was to provide free meals for the necessitous children of the East End, as it was a period of very great hardship indeed. I have followed the Celtic club more or less consistently since 1916 and have seen all the great triumphs in various parts of the world, especially the one in Lisbon and the final of the European Cup, when I had the honour of being the first person to receive the cup from Sir Robert Kelly.
Rangers mean to Glasgow like the Labour Party means to Glasgow, like the Conservative Party means to Glasgow, like the Protestants mean to Glasgow, like the Catholics mean to Glasgow, like the rich means to Glasgow, and like the poor. We are a very vital and a very alive part of Glasgow. Glasgow Rangers, people eat and sleep Glasgow Rangers. Supporters go home on a Saturday night if the Rangers lose, they give their wife a bashing about. It's more than just a focal point to hang their sporting instincts on. It's part of their life. They grow up with it. Parents rearing kids rear them on the folklore of Glasgow Rangers as much as they do in the Bible. The people of Glasgow mean a tremendous lot to Glasgow Rangers. We are very proud on almost every occasion of the people, the very ordinary people that we give pleasure to in the game, in their life.
I was doing in England for a long time as well, you know. I used to come up to England and for Bolton and that, you know, travel all over for them. Oh, well, I spent a fortune on Rangers, you know. Oh, I work as I'm working in the parks now as you know, a storeman in the parks department, Alexander Park, just across the way there, you know. I like my job as well, but I don't work overtime. They keep asking me to work overtime, but I don't, because I like to go to the matches. I like to go to all the matches I can, you know. And the most important thing is I wanted now, so is to get my footy took on the Ibrox with the team, you know. With the whole team, plus the managers, you know. That's what I would like to get, you know.
This sense of identification, this sense of commitment to the club is a very real thing and a very relevant thing. They've got a greater sense of identification, I would suggest, than sometimes the people have who buy into a club, who may be the biggest shareholders of a club. And for many Scots working people, the game is not only the 90 minutes, it's meeting their friends before the game. It's going up in a club bus, a supporters bus, in being there in the game, a collective sense of identity. When the game's finished, to go back again and to have a pint of beer and talk about the game. In other words, the game's relived over discussions at your work. And it's a very real, one could almost say vital part of social life in the 1970s in Scotland, and I think elsewhere.
Celtic is part of me. I'm not just part of Celtic. Celtic are part of me. We've got to work and talk about the game. After the game on Saturday, we discuss it. On Monday we discuss it. Tuesday we discuss it. When the magazine comes out on a Wednesday, we discuss it. Right up to the following Saturday, another game. And after the game, we discuss it again. It just goes on week after week after week. The whole of this season, League Cup, League, Scottish Cup, European Cup, you name it, we discuss it. It's just football all the time. There's nothing different, nothing more. It's just Celtic. Celtic is us, and we are Celtic. That's Celtic in a nutshell. We are Celtic. It's not Celtic that makes us. We are people that make Celtic.